Sarah, I am ready to start whenever you are. Okay, thank you. Hello, this is the regular meeting of the Zoning Administrator for the City of San Clemente. I'm the Zoning Administrator, Cecilia Gallardo-Daly. Today is Thursday, October 8th, 2020. The first item of business on the Zoning Administrator agenda is calling the meeting to order. Second item is minutes. Receive and file the minutes of the Zoning Administrator meeting of September 17, 2020. So received and filed. The next item on the agenda is oral and written communication. This is the time on the agenda for members of the audience to address the zoning administrator on any item within the jurisdiction of the zoning administrator that's not on the zoning administrator agenda. Speakers can submit their comments on agenda items to the zoning administrator electronically. We request that the transmittal be made by 12 p.m. on zoning administrator meeting days. And the zoning administrator is not permitted to discuss or take action on items that do not appear on the agenda. So we don't have any requests for oral or written communication. So we'll go on to the next item on the agenda, which is public hearings. The time limitation for applicants is 10 minutes. All other speakers get 3 minutes. The first public hearing on the agenda is a minor conditional use permit application for a facility at 3551 Camino Miracosta Suite Q. And we'll have our staff planner, David Carrillo, give us a staff report on this item. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Cecilia. Good afternoon. So the project is a minor conditional use permit for an accessory massage. A little bit of background. The project is located at 3551 Camino Miracosta Suite Q. West of the Sprouts Shopping Center at the north end of San Clemente. Suite Q is located on the second floor, and it's on the far right of the second floor, close to the tower element. And then if there's anyone following us, you can see on attachment 3, on the first photograph, on attachment 3 of the staff report, shows that tower element, and then to the left of that is the suite behind the first arch. So in this location, there was a previous massage establishment there that's no longer operating. On September 17th, this same application was continued to allow staff to address outstanding concerns that were raised by the Code Enforcement Division, mainly regarding location and visibility of the suites. So in response, staff, the applicant, and the Code Enforcement Division coordinated to address those concerns, which I'll explain in a few minutes. So the code requires that the zoning administrator approve a minor conditional use permit for an accessory massage use, and this is what the request is here. So the request is for an acupuncture office with an accessory massage component to the office. The massage use would make up 40% of the suite's total service area, which involves 2 separate rooms, not totaling up to 205 square feet. So in staff analysis, again, there were some concerns raised by the Code Enforcement Division regarding location and visibility that have the potential to increase the risk of illegal activities. So again, staff worked with the applicant and Code Enforcement Division to address these. And one of the ways we did that was for us to request information on the location of light fixtures and surveillance cameras. So we did receive a plan from the applicant that's attached on the staff report showing all the light fixtures throughout the building and location of cameras as well. So in that assessment, staff determined that there is sufficient lighting during nighttime, and we do have some cameras located in a way where they capture both the front and rear of the suites. Some conditions of approval related to this: the applicant is required to provide footage to city staff upon request. And the second one related to this is that the applicant is required to maintain storage time of footage for 30 days. And these two would help city staff monitor the use and make sure that it is staying in compliance with code requirements. There is a request from the applicants that the storage time be modified from 30 days to 2 weeks. Staff did bring this up to Code Enforcement Division to get their feedback on this request, and they believe that 30 days is sufficient time in order to obtain footage, just due to the time it takes from to receive a complaint, assign a code enforcement officer, and then follow up with the property owner. So planning is supportive of the condition that requires the storage time for 30 days, and the applicant should be available to comment on that at the end of the presentation. So the second concern that was brought up was the visibility of the suite, and one of the components on the site that was limiting visibility was or is palm trees. So in attachment 8, there is a palm replacement plan. This is something that we worked on with the applicant to see if there's a way to make that suite more visible. So we did agree with, we came up with a condition to remove and replace palms with a multi-trunk palm, and this is reviewed by the landscape consultant. The applicant reviewed the condition and is requesting that it be modified so that the only thing he has to do is remove the palm trees instead of replacing it, given that earlier this year he had installed other palm trees on site in that same area. So staff checked in with the landscape city consultant, and he did support the applicant's request. Staff also reviewed the landscaping, the new landscaping against landscaping requirements, and deemed it to be in compliance as well. There's no issue with the change there, and them meeting the code. So staff is recommending that we do add a condition that reads, prior to the commencement of the massage use, the applicant or designee shall remove the birds of paradise palms identified in the palm replacement plan. So in addition, there were other conditions that do address concerns. One of them is that the massage service will be restricted up until 8 p.m. Currently, the applicant is requesting to operate until 7:30 p.m. That's 30 minutes before what the condition would allow. But the minor conditional use permit would allow an extension until 8 p.m. if they wanted to do that. So we felt that that further reduces the risk of illegal activities, given that they'll be operating no longer than 8 p.m. Another condition is that the customers enter the suite from the front entry only, which is the entry that's most visible from the streets. And then lastly, there is a condition that requires that the business license be reviewed by the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and then the staff is asking the Orange County Sheriff's Department to provide a recommendation to the city's business license division. So in addition to these ways that we address the concerns, staff did find that parking requirements are satisfied. The day spa with accessory massage services contributes to the mix of local serving commercial uses that help meet the needs of nearby residents, consistent with the general plan goal. The request involves the use of existing commercial space and maintains floor area intensity to accommodate the new acupuncture office with accessory massage services. The site is also suitable for the type and intensity of the proposed use, and that no changes are necessary in regards to parking supply, building footprint, or utility services. And lastly, the day spa with accessory massage services is subject to Municipal Code Chapter 5.28 and Zoning Ordinance Section 17.28.185, which outlines provisions regarding licensing, industry certification, operation, sanitation, and inspections, including the right for government officials to conduct unannounced, reasonable inspections to make sure they're in compliance with the code. So given this, staff is recommending that the zoning administrator determine the project is categorically exempt from CEQA under section 15301, class 1, existing facilities, and adopt resolution ZA 20-022 approving minor conditional use permit 20-248. And that concludes my presentation, and we should have the applicant again available for questions. I'm not sure if he's on. And then we did not receive any public comments on this item.
Okay, thank you, David, for that staff report. That was very thorough, and you answered all my questions that I had on this item. So thanks for addressing the issues that were raised by the applicant. I did receive a copy of a communication from the applicant regarding conditions of approval. And one question was whether without the birds of paradise, was the landscape in compliance with the city code, and you answered that in the presentation, so thank you. All right, I'm going to open it up to the applicant now. Mr. Saywitz, would you like to speak or address the zoning administrator on this item?
Yeah, this is Barry Saywitz on behalf of the ownership and the applicant. And so I'm in concurrence with everything that David has said and presented, and we've worked closely with him in preparing his report. I think in terms of all of the conditions that have been presented, as he mentioned, I don't see any issue on our end with any of them. My only request was that relative to the security system, we just upgraded the security system with its storage from 1 week to 2 weeks. And we did that within the last 30 days, as I mentioned in my email that I had sent out, and felt like that was more than sufficient time to be able to react in the event that there was an incident or a need to provide footage to the city. We have had several incidents, unfortunately, in the past with homeless people at the building, and have worked closely with the Sheriff's Department previously. We have access to that footage real time. So for us to record it, once we know about it, is a very easy kind of a thing to do. I just didn't imagine that it would take 2 weeks to figure out if there was really a security issue at the building, and didn't feel like there was a need to spend additional funds to upgrade to the 30 days on top of everything else that we've already done when we just upgraded it. So that was my 2 cents worth relative to that issue. Everything else we're fine with.
Okay, thank you for your comments. I appreciate that input. I have read through the staff report and the conditions of approval. I am familiar with the commercial building and the location. Mr. Saywitz, you maintain a very, very nice building there, and I'm sure that you want to continue to maintain it well. So thank you for agreeing to most of the conditions of approval. I can make the findings for the minor conditional use permit. I think the added conditions of approval are necessary in order to make the findings for the minor conditional use permit. I support the applicant's request to not have to replace birds of paradise once those are removed, since there's adequate landscaping on the site without them. With respect to the request to limit the storage time down to 14 days, I don't think 14 days is an adequate amount of time. I think 30 days of storage is adequate. I think that for the reasons that David had stated, based on input for code compliance, by the time an officer is assigned, they follow up, they do investigations, they request footage. That could potentially be outside of those 14 days. Our experience with short-term lodging units that have or are required to have cameras shows us that could take a bit longer to get us to obtain footage. So I'm going to maintain that condition of approval. So with that, with respect to the minor conditional use permit findings, I do find that the proposed use is conditionally permitted within the subject zone and complies with all of the applicable provisions of the zoning ordinance, the San Clemente general plan, and the purpose and intent of the zone in which the use is being proposed. The acupuncture office, accessory massage services would contribute to the mix of local serving commercial uses that help meet the needs of nearby residents, which is consistent with the goals of the Camino de las Maras focus area. The proposed use is located in a zone that allows massage uses as a conditionally permitted use and must comply with special zoning, operation, facility, and licensing requirements in the municipal code to ensure that the use is compatible with the neighborhood and consistent with the intent of the zone. The site is suitable for the type and intensity of use that is proposed. Parking requirements are satisfied. There are no major exterior building or site changes proposed as part of this request. The request involves the use of existing commercial space and maintains floor area intensity to accommodate the new acupuncture office with the accessory massage services. Any accessory massage services would be provided within 2 treatment rooms that make up about 40% of the suite's total service floor area. So the proposed massage service is incidental to the primary acupuncture office. Conditions of approval have been added that require the applicant to improve the visibility of the subject suite by removing palm trees, maintaining surveillance cameras which capture the exterior, rear, and front entries of the subject suite and limit customer access to the front entry only, which is the most visible entry from the street. And there is sufficient lighting near and around the subject suite for illumination during nighttime. Also, the proposed use will not be detrimental to public health, safety, or welfare, or materially injures to the property's improvements in the vicinity. The massage technician for the business is required to hold an active license from the California Massage Therapy Council. As a condition of approval, prior to the commencement of the massage use, the applicant or designee will submit a business license application for review by the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and the Orange County Sheriff's Department shall provide a recommendation to the Business License Division for consideration. Let's see. The acupuncture use with the accessory massage service is subject to the Municipal Code Chapter 5.28 and Zoning Ordinance Section 17.28.185, which outline provisions regarding licensing, industry certification, operations, sanitation, and inspections, including the right for government officials to conduct unannounced reasonable inspections to determine compliance with the code. And the proposed use will not negatively impact surrounding land uses. There's no intensification of use. The acupuncture office with accessory massage services requires the same amount of parking as the massage establishment, which previously occupied the suite. The request involves the use of existing commercial space and maintains the floor area intensity to accommodate the new acupuncture office with accessory massage services. Conditions have been added to the use permit to ensure that the massage operations have no impact on surrounding uses and are compatible with adjacent businesses and land uses, including improving visibility of the subject suite by removing the palm trees or the birds of paradise trees, terminating massage services no later than 8 p.m. daily, and limiting customer access to the front entry only, which is the most visible entry from the street. So with that, I will determine that the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15301, Class 1 Existing Facilities, and adopt Resolution ZA 20-022, approving minor conditional use permit 20-248, the San Clemente Health Accessory Massage, subject to the conditions of approval and with the modified condition related to the palms that David read into the record, which requires that the bird of paradise palms be removed but are not required to be replaced. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This is very safe. I just have one. I appreciate that. I have just a procedural question in terms of, so I can pass along correct information to the actual operator. Now that it's approved, they still need to obtain the business license from the city, which they've already applied for, and they also need the approval recommendation from the sheriff's department in order for them to be able to operate, correct? Or is it just the massage use and the acupuncture could start as soon as the business license is approved by the city?
Mr. Saywitz, David can answer those questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll talk. Fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Good. I
moving on.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, it's new business. Seeing none, moving to the next item, old business. Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting of the zoning administrator to the next regularly scheduled meeting, which will be held on Thursday, October 22nd, 2020 at 3 p.m. via teleconference. Thank you. Bye-bye.